I'm heading off to Longas today, which is a bit further than I probably would have wanted. It's just that I couldn't find anywhere to stay before that, so I'm going to go into the hills a lot further than I wanted, which means more climbs. So yes, looking forward to that, especially on a rainy day. I don't think the mountains behind me look so big for you guys, but I'm headed towards them, and it's nice being on this flat bit, which I should be on for another couple of hours or so, but then I start heading into them, whether that's into them and over them or into them and slightly up them. I'm not entirely sure at this stage, but the map does say it's over a mile of climbing today, so yes, a bit of trepidation. Want to get to the mountains, so the day is going to get I'm going to get towards my destination, but I like the flat too. Been cycling for about an hour, and I thought I'll just stop, have a little bit of water, because this is going to be a long straight road. And I realised I left my water bottle on the counter back at the hotel, so that's a minor disaster. I'm just going to hope there's going to be a petrol station somewhere along the way, so I can buy a large bottle of water and try and stuff it into my holder there for the water. Well, I found a service station, and lo and behold, they have a bottle of water. Doesn't exactly look great in there, but it fits, it's larger, and it certainly do the job, and I certainly need it going into the hills. While a lot of this ride is about raising money for Team Dominica, which I want to do, and it's also about raising awareness of supported internships, which, as I guess you already know, I'm a big fan of. It's not only about work. I think one of the things that we need to do as parents and carers is to plan for the future for our children, because one day they will leave school and we've got to plan for that transition from school to whatever's next in their lives. Because if we don't, they're going to be sat at home bored. Now, one of the ways that we did this initially was Deborah started up her podcast. She went round speaking to anyone who would speak to her. At first it was just friends, mothers, fathers, anybody who could shed some sort of light on what some of the challenges we all face are. But as the podcast has grown and as she's got better at interviewing and as she's interviewed more and more organisations that are doing more and more spectacular things, for want of another word, she has focused a lot on this challenge of what happens after school finishes. So I would urge you, if you haven't listened to the podcast, listen to a few episodes. There's one series called Ways into Work, another one Bridging the Abyss, and these are excellent series about how to think about what's going to happen after transition. Now, some of these podcasts are from America or Australia, all around the world, because we all want the same thing at the end of the day. Now, I would urge you to, after all podcasts have the little bit at the beginning without the music and the intro, but Deborah very concisely introduces the subject. So it's always best to listen to the subject the way when Deborah introduces it before you think, okay, this episode really isn't relevant to me, and then move over to the next one. But even if an episode is somewhere else in the world, some of the ideas are still applicable to wherever you live. So it's worth going through the back catalogue of the Expanding World podcast and seeing what may be of interest to you. So it's Expanding World. So have a listen, guys. Everyone's saying that the road's under construction ahead of me and they're not very keen on letting me go through. One guy said okay at your own risk, but two others have said no, so I think it might be a case of just going when no one's looking. I'm balanced against the world of officialdom. Somebody else has come by. He seems to be in charge. He had a little bit of English, which is good because my Spanish is up to ordering things on the menu, not discussing roadworks. But he's going to have a look, see how bad it is. He hasn't had to look himself yet, and if it's okay, he's going to let me continue. But apparently it's about 200 metres worth of rocks fallen on the road, and they're worried about whether more rocks might fall, and I guess they don't want tourists getting hit on the head, so let's wait and see what happens. There seems a whole army intent on stopping me going forward, but one of the guys said at 2 o'clock, if I wait here, they will get a van and put the bike on the van and just take me through the little bit that's blocked. I don't know how bad this is, but yes, there's certainly lots of people stopping, lots of cars going this way. That was a day of many twists and turns. The first half of the day possibly was fairly straight, which was good because I got lots of miles covered. But then when I hit the base of the Pyrenees, then it began to get up and down, and it got pretty hard cycling in all honesty. Lunchtime was marked by the closure of the road, which took 2 hours to get through, so that delayed me somewhat. And then once I got through it, I was absolutely alone, nobody at all. Actually, it was the most peaceful day cycling of all. Then I got off to off-roading, and it started off pretty well, but then it was wet and heavy, and the mud just sucked the wheels of the bike, and I was just pedaling and pedaling and pedaling. Felt I was really getting nowhere, even in first gear. Then there was a massive hill, but the good bit of a massive hill is I get that nice long downhill back into this town. So I'm in Longas. When I was speaking to a lot of the people that were doing the roadworks, they'd never heard of the place, and now I'm here, I see why. It's there's no real main roads here, and it's very picturesque, but it looks very small, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to eat tonight, if anything. Maybe tomorrow's lunch. This is today's route. A long straight bit, and then weaving through the bottom of the Pyrenees and occasionally up and over until I reached Longas. Summary for day 25. 50 miles covered, which brings the total to 1102. This is about 102 miles extra on the 1,000 that I expected. Total climb today was 1,106 metres, 3,628 feet, which brings that total to 12,568, or 41,233 feet for the trip so far. As you see from the green line, the route has changed somewhat as I go through the base of the Pyrenees. If you have liked this video, please like and subscribe.